You. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to my second live of the weekend. What's happening? Yeah, if you guys don't subscribe to me yet, I go live every Wednesday and weekends, usually in the evenings, of course. Um, Usually just once on the weekend at some point, but I'm doing it twice this weekend. So wow. All right, let me share it to my group real quick. Hold on. All right. What's happening, you guys? What's new? Are you guys still celebrating Eid? Is it usually just one day or is it the whole weekend? I don't know. On my calendar, it says it's like a few days. But so today, though, we're talking about our feelings, and psychology. I thought this was a good topic. I asked a few different questions on my Facebook page, my profile, Trisha Truth again. Um, and someone said the question was like, what do we not talk openly about that like you'd like to hear about more? Something like that. And someone said like psychology and feelings. I was like, yes, indeed, that's something that we don't talk about enough, right? That we all go through. We all have feelings, right? No matter if we want to hide them or not. And yeah, like I'm sure everyone in their life has struggled, is struggling, you know. So nobody is alone. So I thought this was an important topic. If this is your first time joining me, I do enjoy, delving into some of these deep questions on my lives. Other times I'm out and about. I'm an American, but I'm in Morocco. Hello, Juan. How are you? Hello, Osama. How are you doing? Hello, Cherry. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. I also asked if people have other, suggestions, if people want to talk about stuff. There's, of course, so many things we can talk about. Hola, Yasin. How are you? Hello, Gold. Yeah, so I know this is a bit later. Sometimes I'll do it a bit earlier, like maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. But I know tonight's a bit late. So I never know who joins, but welcome in. Good. Bien. Bien, bien. Very good. Very good. So, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because it does help me out. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's interesting too, like with the lives. I feel like a lot of people see it, watch it, subscribe, but then sometimes my videos don't get as much. It's weird trying to figure that all out. But if you haven't checked out my videos too, please watch some of them. Of course, anything that you watch for a longer period of time, like and comment. That tells the algorithm that they should push it out to other people too. So thank you so much for all of your support. Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid. Are you guys still celebrating? Is it like the whole weekend? I don't actually know. Just I see it like on my calendar that it's more than one day. But so okay, let's talk about our feelings. Do you guys talk about your feelings when you have a feeling, right? Do you talk about it? If you're happy, sad, angry, frustrated, whatever, do you talk about it? Or do you just suppress it, hold it in, keep it down? Hello, Ronald. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Um, so I kind of got a little bit of an outline from ChatGPT, to help guide us through this as a topic. But thank you to, I think it was Jihan in Tifina, I think it was Jihan that suggested this. So great topic. So yeah, some points here, like have you ever felt like you couldn't talk about your emotions? What stopped you? right? What kind of social pressures or cultural messages make it harder for you to be open about feelings? Yeah, there's certain, like, maybe taboo things, right, that you just don't talk about. Um, yeah, myself, I know, Tricia with the truth. I feel like I say what I mean. Should I say all of the time? I think there are some times where maybe I, of course, hold back a little bit because, you don't want just like no filter, because then you can hurt people's feelings, of course. So I don't know if I can say all of the time, but yeah, I think I have a good balance of saying what I mean, meaning what I say. Hello. This live is about talking about our feelings and psychology. You found yourself stumbling upon my life. Well, hello. Wear a mask as like a metaphorical mask to cover up our true feelings. That's very deep if that's what you meant. But yeah. I don't know how people do that though. Like cover up and like hide. I'm just like, can't do it. Can't do it. I love psychology. Your favorite subject. Awesome. I love it. Actually, that was one major that I thought about studying. I did sociology though for my first degree, my bachelor's degree, teaching of course for my master's. But yeah, I definitely thought about psychology. I love it to think about how we think. Like, hello, it's amazing. Okay, so mm, yeah, the stigma around vulnerability plays a huge role, right? There's still this idea that talking about our feelings makes us weak or needy, but that's simply not true. I feel like, yeah, when we own our feelings, own our truth, right? Like we talked about in our another live about telling the truth, being honest, like you feel just more grounded, you feel more at ease when you're honest. There's nothing to hide, there's nothing to remember if you're lying. You know what I mean? Like you're just free. Like that's true freedom. Oh no, not again. What is up with y'all? Did you say Australian? You missed the Australian thing. Was that the same person as last time, or was that a different name? Yep, hide identity. What like? And so, well, thank you. Thank you for subscribing, you guys. Okay, so yeah, remember that, right? Being honest propels you into freedom, right? Telling the truth about how you're feeling, but like I said, it can hurt someone's feelings. So there's a time and place, right? If you want to talk about a really deep subject with someone, probably do it one on one, right? So you both feel safer or whatever. And talk about your feelings. This is how I feel. Because if you don't, that situation or that problem or that issue will keep coming up. You know what I mean? So yeah. What else? So yeah, there's strength in talking about your feelings, even though there's that stereotypical like, oh, you're weak. Oh, that's weak if you talk about your feelings. Like, no, actually, it's the complete opposite, right? All right. So why is it crucial to talk? Um, so expressing your emotions, whether through talking, writing. Some people like to journal a lot, right? Creative outlets. I know I love to sing. Can be extremely freeing. Yes to freedom. It helps you process what you're going through and can lighten the emotional load. Yeah, like there's like coping mechanisms, right? Like healthy coping skills. If you need something to get through, what is it? I'm from Pakistan. Hello, welcome, salam. A traveler, yes. Yes, I'm in Morocco right now. I'm fine. How are you? Hello. I'm not sure what you're saying. Strong, assertive assumptions. Yes, I'm from the United States of America, but I'm in Morocco. Do you need me to yell? Can you guys hear me? Usually people tell me they can hear me okay, so. But let me know. Okay, so what else? Do you ever feel better after talking through your emotions with someone, even if they don't offer solutions? Right? So it might be really extremely difficult to talk through something or talk about something, especially if you're not used to it. But after you've done that, it's like, it's amazing, right? You feel free, you feel better. Again, even if it was hard for you or for another person or people, right? What's your favorite way to get your feelings out when you're overwhelmed? So, yeah, some of those, like we talked about, journaling, singing, taking a walk, exercising, right? Try to speak with a loud voice. Well, I do have neighbors here, so. What would you say, Ronald? That sounds like toxic masculinity to me. This live stream talking about feels chill. It feels chill and cozy, kind of person you are. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to chill too. Okay. All right. So by naming our emotions, right, facing them, we can better understand them and figure out how to deal with them. Without that, they can control us in ways we don't realize. Talking allows us to back that, to take back that control, right? Yeah, it's scary to me when people like are not aware of like what's going on in their mind. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how people can like do the whole compartmentalization. Hey, one shot, welcome back. I have specific I have specific friends that I feel sometimes I can tell my emotions to, but our family and community, maybe it's hard because the answer for them is easy. Start praying and God will do the job. Yeah. It's interesting. Maybe some closer people will say that to you too, but also some like the strangers or people you don't know that well. It's easy for people to quickly respond like that, right? Or like you'll get through it, or I mean, which doesn't mean that it's not true, right? You will get through it. It is passing. It will pass. You are okay even when you're not okay, right? You know, personally, prayer I think helps. Turning to God helps. But like sometimes like we don't want to hear those things or like we're not ready to hear those things when we're having a problem, right? You know what I mean? Like just please shut. Keep that to yourself, right? Yeah, no, I totally get it. Ronald, you are all over the place, bro. Okay, so what else? Emotional support. So important, right? Okay. So now it's not just about you talking, but also about creating spaces where others feel comfortable talking. Yeah, of course, back and forth. Listening is just as important. A huge part of this is community. When you speak, you also allow others to open up. Yeah, actually, I was just talking to a friend about that. Like, you know, we support each other, right? When I'm open, they're open. When they're open, I'm open. Like, and we learn from each other's issues and experiences. Yeah, it's really amazing. But yeah, what do you guys need to hear? Or what do you guys want to hear when you're having an issue? You know, and let your friends and family know that. Like, be direct, right? Like, tell them these are the things that are helpful to me. These are the things that are not helpful to me right now, and then that might change, right? Yeah. Okay. So, how do you feel when someone listens to you without judgment? Yeah. Sometimes we just want to vent. We don't want to hear any, suggestions, judgment. We just want to vent. We just want to let it all out and be heard, right? So that's where the other person has active listening, eye contact. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It depends on the culture too, maybe. Um, let's see. Do you think the way we listen to others can help them feel comfortable expressing themselves more openly? Yeah, again, that active listening, right? Ah, yes, empathy, right? Empathy, patience, understanding when others open up. It's about fostering relationships where we feel safe, sharing and being vulnerable. Yeah. And having this understanding between the two of you, if you're having a conversation with one person, I mean, usually that's like the most helpful, right? One on one. But like having that understanding that you both do this for each other, just being so direct and open, feels good. Yeah, when someone's actually listening to you. Yeah. Ronald, if you need something different, you are free to go. Okay? If you're enjoying and find this topic interesting, you are certainly free to stay. But that is your decision. That is your choice. Otherwise, shush. Okay, so the mental health impact, holding it in versus letting it out. Yeah, I feel like this is such a like generational thing too. Like my dad's generation and his parents' generation, it was very much like hold that ish in, right? Like don't let it out, don't talk about it, just push it down, suppress it. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how it was back in the day, right? But as younger people, as we move forward with humanity, right, we're changing that. You know, so we talk about so many things on social media. What are you guys saying? Okay, if you guys aren't gonna be appropriate, please leave. Let me remove this one. Hello. Go watch Mr. Beast. Why? Are you talking to Ronald? Hi, 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 hi. Yeah, it's interesting the psychology with Mr. Beast, right? If you've ever gotten into that, but he aims for a younger audience, and like his videos are highly produced, right? Um, so yeah, as social media, I don't know, it's changing. I mean, still, obviously, there are people who enjoy that kind of content, but I think a lot of people are turning away from that overly produced, highly produced. They want like a connection with a real human being, you know? Hmm. Would you mispronounce? I don't know. Ronald's just going off. Okay. So let's talk about how keeping feelings bottled up can affect us mentally and physically. Yeah. The mind-body connection. I know I've been talking to some friends about that too. Research has shown that suppressing emotions can lead to anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues like headaches or muscle tension, maybe like stomach issues. Yeah. So, have you ever felt physically drained after keeping something to yourself for a long time? Right? I'm like, that's why I'm like, how do people do that, man? Just feels weird and bad. How does not addressing your emotions impact your mood or your energy levels? Hmm. Okay, Ronald, I'm gonna like you don't have anything positive to add, and it's all over the place, so I'm gonna kindly remove you. Thank you. Yes, okay. Yeah, just I know I remember the name from last time too, and just they just want to like what's the word? Like antagonize me, so we don't need that. Okay. So, yeah, when we hold emotions in, they don't just vanish, right? Yeah, they don't just go away. Oh, one shot said gone. Right, like it's annoying. Especially like the topic, like we're talking about a deep subject and yeah, it's just not respectful. And we're having a conversation. I love hearing your feedback too, as long as it's like appropriate and respectful, but yeah. Okay, so they have a way of surfacing in unhealthy ways through stress, anger, or even burnout. Yeah, for sure. I've definitely seen people deal with that. If they're not telling the truth or like being open, it's like turns into this oof, hot mess of anger and yeah, they're not being free, they're not telling the truth. Okay, what else? Hmm. So yeah, finding the right people and places to talk. It's so important. I think it's really it can be really difficult, right? Um, I know just talking to friends recently, it's like, yeah, some people are so into like gossip and all that stuff too. So then you don't want to talk to people because they're just gonna like talk behind your back. So yeah, I love that about the Baha'i faith. That's my religion. You know that what's the one quote that like gossip extinguisheth the light, or like like it's one of the worst things you can do. Like focus on yourself. Don't be out there talking about other people. Yeah. So it is important to find someone who is trustworthy though. Okay, so not all conversations are created equal. It's important to find the right people and environments to express yourself. Who you talk to and how they respond can make all the difference. Yeah, I know we were just talking about too, like some people just like, well, kind of like what you were saying, right? Like people brushing stuff off or just be like, like laughing at something or like, yeah. So it's like everybody needs to feel respected, worthy, safe, you know? The one who gets the most angry is always the loser in the battle. Yeah, no, for sure. They're letting that, whatever it is, like control them. Oof. Even just to like think about that, it's like, so why would you want that as part of your life? Like, be free, please. Okay. So, yeah, what qualities do you look for in someone when you want to talk about something personal? Do you think there are times when it's okay to keep your feelings to yourself, or is it always important to talk them through? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like in my own experience, yeah, it is difficult to find someone who is trustworthy, who's a good listener, who's not gonna go and like gossip or whatever, right? Hello. And yeah, like we were saying, maybe it's not always the best time, right, to talk about stuff because you're in the wrong place, or they're not going to be respectful, they're not going to hear you out. But at the same time, it's like, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, there's a certain balance there, right? But yeah, again, this is all, like some prompts and suggestions for the conversation from ChatGPT. But this topic was suggested on my Facebook from Jihan, I think. I just think it's so important, psychology and talking about your feelings, just being real, like we talked about the other day. So, yes, talking to the right people, those who are empathetic, non judgmental, and trustworthy, can help you feel supported and understood. But sometimes it's okay to seek professional help when you need more than just a friend to talk to. Yeah, for sure. And I know, obviously, I'm in Morocco right now. Hello, Frank. Um, I know it's more taboo here in Morocco to like see a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor, whatever you want to call it, right? I know, in the West, or at least from my own experience in the United States, it's more normal to talk about going to see a therapist, to talk to somebody about it. But in many countries, it's still like taboo, and it seems like it's not a real thing or something. Or but yeah, like feelings are very real. Salam, salam. How are you? Sorry, just doing some moderating here. Okay. What is your name? Nafizur? Welcome, welcome. How are you? We like talking about some deep topics here. So we're talking about feelings and psychology. So thank you for joining. But yeah. Yeah, like, is that easy to find, you guys? Somebody who's empathetic, non-judgmental, and trustworthy? I feel like that's not easy to find. So, that's why, like, in the West at least, you can find a therapist. I know they have some in Morocco too. I've seen people talk about it in our different groups. Um, but I know it, like, in America too, it's not cheap normally, but depends on if you have insurance or like there's government assistance too. But in Morocco, maybe you guys can tell me how it is here. I don't know, but yeah, I'm an American, but I'm in Morocco. Where are you guys from? But yeah, I know this is a deep topic. I know it's heavy. Maybe not everyone is used to talking about it. I know some people, it's just easier for people to hide and not be themselves. And that is not freedom, in my opinion. Okay. So, how about tools for healthy communication? So, yeah, active listening and nonviolent communication. Sometimes it's not just about talking, it's also about how we talk. Oh, yes, very true. Active listening and nonviolent communication are tools that can help make these conversations more productive and empathetic. Right, right. Like, if you're having like a fight with someone, like a friend or your significant other, like the way you say things is so important, right? And obviously, if there's a moment of, heightened energy, it's probably not the time to like have a serious conversation. Take some time. come back to it later or the next day, perhaps. Talk, make a decision together, like when to talk about stuff and how to do it. Talk, make a plan, communicate is so important. So, have you ever tried active listening in a conversation? How did it change the outcome? Hmm. How do you guys feel about active listening? It seems you understand a lot of languages. Yimik yimik. Shwiya. Yeah, I do like studying languages for sure. Since I'm in Morocco, I'm learning more Amazigh. Of course, I do pick up some Darija when I'm in the stores and stuff, but okay. Yeah, so what does active listening mean to you guys? I know, like we said, like nodding, eye contact, depending on the culture, right? Some cultures don't like eye contact or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. Like these kinds of feedbacks, right? Like, but yeah, know your culture too. I know in America, it's very much like, especially like if you have like a child adult um, interaction, right? Like as a teacher, you expect that child to look you in the eye, right? Or if you're a parent to a child, you expect that child to look you in your eye. Because it's like, it's all about truth, right? And telling the truth, being honest. So, like, if they're not looking at you in your eye, it's like, you're lying, right? But not every culture is like that, right? Some cultures, it's like, if you look at someone in the eye, that's disrespectful. So, yeah, culture. Hello. Okay. Yeah, what does nonviolent communication mean to you? Have you tried this technique in your relationships? I hope so. Yeah, again, like I think it's like about the tone, right? And obviously no physical stuff, but like the way you say things, like, um, hey, did you pick up my papers the other day? Did you pick them up? That's a bit neutral, right? But didn't you pick up my papers the other day? Right? Like we should normalize eye contact. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the culture. I totally get the other perspective. Like a lot of Native American tribes, I'm not sure about all of them, but at least the ones that I've interacted with, um, did not want the eye contact. And like they didn't, some of them didn't want like pictures too. Just, different culture, different ways of navigating the world, right? So just again, like being direct though, and just completely talking about everything, just wide open, right? So important. Hi Noor, I'm from the United States of America, but I'm in Morocco. Hello. So we're just talking about feelings, just deep topics. I don't know. We like to talk about deep topics here. So you're welcome. I go live every Wednesday and weekends. Sometimes I'm out and about in Morocco and I'll go live as well, but so let's see. Active listening involves fully concentrating on what the other person is saying, not on your phone, right? And acknowledging their feelings. Nonviolent communication is all about expressing your needs without blame. Mm. Focusing on how you feel rather than pointing fingers. Yeah, I think it's like easy for us to like try to blame you. You did this and you did that. But like, there's always like other sides to a story, right? So like listening, yeah, it's so important. Okay, then, so there's two more sections that ChatGPT broke down. Okay, so they said the long-term benefits of talking about your feelings. We've talked a lot about the challenges and immediate benefits, but let's look ahead. Mm-hmm. How does regular emotional expression improve our lives over time? So important. How does regular emotional expression improve our lives over time? Hello. Yeah, so like physically, emotionally. I don't remember, Noor. You talking about Darija or Tamazir? Okay. So do you think talking about your emotions regularly helps you build stronger relationships? What do you guys think? Do you think talking about your emotions regularly helps you build stronger relationships? Yes. Right? Like, of course. Doing something healthy regularly, of course, is going to help things. What else? How does talking about your feelings affect your self awareness or emotional growth? How does talking about your feelings affect your self awareness or emotional growth? These are such great questions. There's a lot of trolls and strange people in comments here tonight. So goodbye to you too. Okay. So yeah, I'll just leave that as a question. Such a great question. How does talking about your feelings affect your self-awareness or emotional growth? I know some people are like really not used to talking about this stuff. So anyways, thank you guys for being here and having a conversation, kind of a conversation, right? You said not regularly? Wait, what was that in regards to? Let's see, what is it? It says when you regularly share your feelings, or were you saying about because people aren't used to it? So it says when you regularly share your feelings, you start to build a deeper sense of self-awareness. You're able to manage your emotions more effectively, leading to healthier relationships and a more balanced life. Absolutely. But it's so hard because like, yeah, like not everybody is like open and like aware of themselves and capable of talking about these things. So if you're like all trying to do this stuff with them, you know, you're gonna get varied responses, right? Like some people just brush stuff off. I feel like that's very common, unfortunately. Some people will like redirect or like avoid. I feel like there's a lot of avoidance. Hello. I can't read the Arabic though, you guys. Okay, and then ending on a positive note. Okay, encouraging each other. All right, so the next time you feel like something's weighing on you, take a moment to talk about it. Even if there's nobody around, just like say it out loud or journal. Like, I feel like that's so helpful. Or do whatever you feel is healthy, right? Take a walk, exercise, watch a movie, listen to music, meditate. There's so many healthy ways of dealing with things. So, whether with a friend, a family member, or even a therapist, you don't have to carry it all alone. We all need support sometimes, and that's okay. Yes, indeed. Excuse me. You said, yeah, talking to people can have a percentage in self-awareness when we share common stuff with the listener, I guess. Maybe, do you mean like maybe it's easier when you guys have the kind of the same thing in common or something similar? Hmm. All right, so then it says, how will you encourage those around you to open up and talk about their feelings? Yeah. That's a hard one. I do feel like, obviously, I know some people in my life that, especially like the older generation, especially men, um, maybe they're not very open emotionally, right? Just because that was the generation or whatever, and maybe it's similar in other countries or even for younger people too. But even though I know that they're not emotionally like open or available, yeah, um, I still try to have like these open and honest conversations. Maybe not like go super deep because I know that they're not like capable or willing to do that. You know what I mean? But so it's like, yeah, it's like a balance. It's like a dance, right? Of like still be you, but also understand where the other person is coming from too, you know. Hello, Brazil. How are you doing? So then it says, what small step will you take today to start expressing your emotions more freely? Hmm. So I'll just leave that question out there. And again, this was all from ChatGPT. Of course, I stated some of my opinions, but let me know, how you guys deal with stuff. What's your opinions on this stuff? I wanted to look up like um, ways of active listening because I know maybe we don't talk about that a lot in like regular conversation, but ah, so my question would be: is that a healthy way of dealing with things? Everybody has different opinions. I personally don't think it's healthy because it's not a natural thing to put that into your lungs. Do you know what I mean? We're supposed to breathe air, not smoke. Um, but I know medicinally, maybe it can help some people. Not the smoke, but like the oil or something. Um, yeah. So like medicinally, like I get it, but yeah, I think people would need to talk to their doctor or naturopath or whoever they see, right? But yeah, I know people deal with things differently. But again, yeah, what's healthy, what's not, something to think about. Yusuf said, "You believe in God?" Yes, I do. I'm a Baha'i. That's my religion. I'm still hearing the seagulls out there. What do you say? Of course, personal one. There are many things: walk, journaling, talk to people, podcast, observing. Yeah. Greetings from Morocco. Hello from Morocco too. Okay, Omar, don't be too much now. That's an interesting statement. I feel like the mobile device is worse than the other thing. I'm not sure what I can say on here, so I'm not saying some of those words, but certainly anything can be an addiction, right? Um, I guess some are more healthy than others, right? Like, can water be an addiction? I mean, you can certainly drink too much water, right? Um, but yeah, certainly this substance. I've seen people ruin their lives with it. So like, yeah, I tend to be on the negative opinion of all that because it just seems to ruin people's lives and like change their mentality. It can be dangerous. So I personally don't like the substances, but yeah, I mean, mobile device, like I feel like most people are addicted to it. Yeah, I mean, I still remember like the first times I would hear people like using earpieces in the store. And I still remember the first time I saw a woman using an earpiece with her phone, like her phone was somewhere else and she had an earpiece, but it was on the other side, so I couldn't see it. And she was like, hello. And I was like, hi. And she was not talking to me. I'm just like, oh no, what is happening to the world? Yeah, overdoing, yeah. Hello from France, hello. I don't speak French though. Je n'ai pas parlé français. Well, شوية دريجة. إمك تمازيغت. Yeah, I don't read French, you guys. Um, but yeah, technology. Yeah, so it's a good discussion too. But yeah, like anything, we need balance. We need ethics. But yeah, I usually like technology stuff. I usually get on stuff late. You know what I mean? Like just because I grew up like very old school, right? And like we never had like brand new things. I've never had like brand new things or like I've never had a new car. Like I did. I mean, I did buy a new smartphone when it like so. I was watching people use them and I was like, oh, what is that? Like, that's kind of weird, right? Like just watching people and observing. And then I also was wanting to get a GPS. Like they had separate machines or whatever, right? Devices, um, like for a GPS. Back in the day when I wanted to go somewhere, I used MapQuest.com. Okay, and I would print out the paper or write the directions down. You know what I mean? So I mean, and I loved using maps, and like I still love using maps. But obviously a GPS is more convenient. So I was stuck at like, do I get a GPS and a phone, but not like a smartphone, but then I have two devices, you know? So it would be cheaper and maybe more convenient to have one device. So that's when I decided to get a smartphone. But where are you from, Nomad? I'm from the United States, but I'm in Morocco. Hello from France. Hello. I don't speak French though. Estás wat tamazicht? I know a lot of people who are in France. Maybe sometimes they're from Morocco. At least some of my followers. But okay, so I was looking at this last thing about active listening. Let's see. So yeah, fully focusing on what someone else is saying, understanding their message, responding appropriately. So it goes beyond simply hearing the words and includes paying attention to nonverbal cues, paraphrasing, asking clarifying questions, and withholding judgment. Yeah, sometimes there's like certain techniques, right, and methods where like you can paraphrase to see for understanding if people actually understood you, you know? I remember experiencing a few days. Obviously there were many days, but like I remember experiencing like a few days with the same person, like same events or whatever, right? Sorry, what? I'm trying to hear what's going on outside. What is happening? Yeah, I was like, it sounds like a stampede. It sounds like people running. I know early, I know earlier I heard like some yells because I think that that's like a normal thing in Morocco with soccer, football. Did the game just end or something? Everybody's going home. I don't know. I know it's Eid too. Ay, 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 ay. Like it sounds like a stampede. And then I do hear like individual running footsteps. And they're like yelling. I was like, are people like playing outside? Because it's Eid? It's late though, dang, y'all. I'm in Eswera right now. Suera, Suera. That was crazy though. I was like, hold on a minute. Oh, like to be able to hear people running? Dang, man. Let me say, like, they're running fast and hard. I hear some babies out there too, some children. Anyways, um, what were we talking about? Okay, I'm still like trying to listen. It sounds quieter. Sorry, you guys, I can't read the Arabic. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying like there are some different strategies to like paraphrase and like recite or like kind of reflect back, like what did this person just say to me, to check for understanding, right? Oh, because I was saying, yeah, I experienced the same thing with somebody, but like they had a completely different like retelling or whatever. Like it was bizarre to me. I was like, we experienced the same thing. I'm like that didn't happen. Like it was weird. It was really bizarre. It's really really bizarre. But that's like the only time that ever happened, and maybe that has to do with just that person, like that person's judgment of reality. Like yeah, because it was really weird. And again, the only time that happened to me. But anyways, okay, super helpful. Yeah, to paraphrase. But yeah, then they say like focus on the speaker, give the speaker your undivided attention, minimize distractions, and avoid planning your response while they're speaking. Yeah, sometimes that's difficult, right? Like depending on how you are in yourself, right? You might be thinking and planning how to respond, but sometimes just yeah, being chill, listening. Okay, so then it says maintain eye contact. This shows you're engaged and interested in what they have to say. Use encouraging non-verbal cues like nodding, smiling, leaning in to demonstrate your attentiveness. But yeah, again, like this may be very, may depend on the culture. I'm still hearing them a bit outside, but they're like farther away. Okay. Understand the message. Listen for the intended meaning. Go beyond just hearing the words and try to understand the speaker's purpose and emotions. Purpose and emotions. Ask clarifying questions. Yeah, like if you don't understand something, ask, right? I feel like that's so common sense, but a lot of people just like hold back. Like if you don't understand something, ask. Like I'm always telling my students that, generally I work with younger students and I'm just like, if you don't understand something, ask questions. That's how you will understand. Like and you might help somebody else too if we have a whole class together, right? And it helps me as a teacher then to like tailor the lesson to them. If I know they don't understand something, I will go back and like review some things. And yeah. Let's see. So yeah, if something is unclear, ask questions to ensure you understand correctly. Yeah. Okay, paraphrase and reflect back. Yeah, restate what you've heard in your own words to demonstrate understanding and check for accuracy. Yeah, so important. Your school system was so bad? Wait, where are you from? One shot. Are you from Morocco? I'm still listening out there. Okay. Show engagement and respect. So it says avoid interrupting. Yeah. Let the speaker finish their thought before offering your own ideas. Some people do like talking sticks or whatever, especially if you have a group or whatever, but refrain from judgment, hold your own opinions and judgments until the speaker has finished expressing themselves. Empathize with the speaker, try to understand their perspective and emotions, even if you don't agree with them. Oh man, that's like so important for like international stuff. Morocco. One shot, are you from like a big city or a small city? Uh, Barek. I'm too old for that slang. I don't know what y'all be talking about. I don't know what they're saying. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, if we could use empathy in the world. Okay. Nador. So you speak Tamazight? Tarifit? I don't remember. Let's see. Okay, so then it says be patient and observant. Be patient, give the speaker time to express themselves fully. Yeah, everybody has like different timing. Observe body language. Pay attention to nonverbal cues like facial expressions, posture, and tone of voice, as these can provide additional insights. And man, depends on the culture, right? Man, there are so many things that are just agreed upon that we don't talk about in our own cultures, you know? Um, so communicating across cultures can be even more like you have to be even more cognizant and self-aware for real. Yeah, so tarifite. Yeah, most of the cities I've been in, I run into people who speak Tasusit and Atlas. Yeah, so there's just been a few that I ran into that speak Tarifit. But you know, when I was in the north, like Tetuan and Tanger, it was hard to find people. I mean, I know it's not the best area. Like obviously, like where you're from, Nador and El Husima, I've heard is better. But yeah, it's harder to find people who speak Tarifit. I'm not playing a game. We're just talking about like psychology and our feelings. Sometimes we talk about some very deep topics here. Other times I'm out in Morocco showing you guys different cities or just interacting with locals. Same roots, yeah, I know for sure. Once again. Okay, so that says recognize and respond to emotional cues. If you observe emotional cues, acknowledge them and respond appropriately. Hmm. Have you been to both east? You mean northeast? I have not been to Ujda and Nador, Hussein. No, I have not been there yet. Obviously, I know I would run into a lot more people who speak Tarifit there. It just seems so far. You know what I mean? Like, just where I usually end up going or having to go, it still seems like far to go. But maybe one day. I don't have like a reason. Usually I travel because I have a reason to go there, you know. But okay, so then the last one about active listening. We're talking about active listening. That's just the topic today, but of course we sprinkle in other things. Florida, what's up? I miss my Americans, man. All right, so the last one, provide feedback. So offer constructive feedback. So once you've fully understood, provide feedback that acknowledges their perspective and encourages further discussion. But again, it depends. Maybe if someone is just wanting to vent and they asked not for feedback, then it just depends, you know. And then summarize and share insights. Summarize what you've heard and share any relevant insights or experiences. So then by practicing these techniques, you can become a more effective and empathetic listener, improving communication and building stronger relationships. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know if you guys are focusing on any of these to work on with yourself or others, but it's amazing to talk about these things that, you know, again, one of these, you know, this topic I thought was interesting because, yeah, I know Jihan, she said, like, this is something that people don't talk about openly a lot. So I thought it was great to talk about. What's your reason there in Suera and around there? To escape the heat of Marrakesh right now, you know? Hello, guys. How are you? You good? Yeah, because Marrakesh is ihma behera. uh, yeah, where I'm from, you know, I'm from like the Midwest, right? It's like more north in the United States. So, of course, we have cold winters with snow. Um, but our summers are hot, right? But not Marrakesh kind of hot. So, yeah, my body did not know that kind of heat, you know? Why? Sometimes it does hide these comments. You said, are you Russian? No, I'm not Russian. Where are you from? I'm from the United States, but I'm in Morocco. Yeah, and it's like, so I've definitely experienced those. Well, no, probably not. Okay, I'm going to be using Fahrenheit because that's what I'm used to. That's what Americans use. I know that most of the rest of the world uses Celsius, right? But I feel like maybe the highest temperature I ever experienced in America was like maybe 105 or 110 maximum. But but those were highs. Those were like, you know, they spiked high and then they went back down to like 90s or 80s, right? But in Marrakesh, again, this is Fahrenheit, you guys, so bear with me. But in Marrakesh, it's like hundreds for the whole summer. You know, it will stay at like 100, 110, 115. So, like, yeah, it just stays intensely hot. So, yes, I'm in Morocco right now. You're from Morocco too? What did you say? Have you ever been to the UAE? No, I have not been there. Or I don't. Well, I mean, like, I don't know if I had to stop there, you know, for a plane ride, you know, layover. But I've never like stayed. Yeah, 40 Celsius is like, it's like 100. Let me check. Let me do my conversion, please. Cool. Oh, actually, yeah, 100 is 37.7778. So let me see. 40 Celsius is 104. Yeah. Yeah, like in my city though, during the summer, 80s and 90s, man. It can jump, like I said, it can jump to 100 or 105, but like 80s and 90s, it's like perfect. Yeah. So, anyways, you guys, that was the topic. Thanks for joining. This was my second live this weekend. I go live every Wednesday and weekends. Thank you to Jihan for the topic. I'll be asking more in-depth questions on Facebook per usual, as usual. It's Trisha Truth again, if you guys want to follow me there. Anywhere else, Instagram, TikTok, and here it's the same name, Trisha with the Truth. Iron Algeria, nice. Do you speak Tamazight? The Kabyle? Takelbit? Is that how they call it? But yeah, so yesterday I went live. I was like in the Medina. That was interesting. What else? Yeah, so I'll see you guys Wednesday. If you guys don't follow me, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that if you want to see my lives, you can get notified. You said, what's your goal on YouTube this year? Like, what kind of goal? My subscriber goal is to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. I think it depends on how much I'm uploading or not, right? It's important to stay active on the platform, of course, which is why I go live 2 to 3 times per week, usually 2, weekends and Wednesdays. But yeah, it's harder to have time to edit everything. It's a bit much for sure, especially if I'm trying to like post on my other platforms too and edit reels and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit much, but I would love to be able to get to editing and uploading at least twice a week, man. Twice a week would be great, but man, depending on the length of the video, right? So like if I go somewhere and I film and it's like an hour long, excuse me, having to edit and cut that video up, man, takes a lot of time. Yeah, consistency is so important for sure. You can do that. Yeah, inshallah. Inshallah. What do you say? I want to offer you my editing and content strategy. Okay. What are you? Do you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? It's easiest for me to get comments. For some reason, on my platforms, it's not easy to get messages. Just because I think it's too active or whatever. It got glitchy after being so active. So usually I say, comment and then I can see them directly usually. But sometimes I don't get notifications for comments, but I try to go back and look at my comments though. Instagram. Okay. Well, yeah, if you send me a message, I'm not going to get it, unfortunately, but you can comment and let me know something. But yeah, I didn't look at your channel. Are you uploading on YouTube a lot, or do you have your own goals and strategy? Yeah, so it depends sometimes as a content creator, right? We kind of have to pivot sometimes because of what certain platforms are doing at a certain time, right? So, like for example, sometimes some platforms, depending on your country, can offer certain programs or incentives or yada yada yada, right? But YouTube for right now seems consistent. However, in the past, like they have changed their like eligibility and requirements, so it's like, of course, if you guys are into this stuff, you know that you should never, or anything in any business or just life or whatever, like you should never put your eggs in one basket. If you guys know that phrase, right? I mean, like ideally, the best thing is to have your own website or email list, right? Because um, yeah, there's no guarantee with these platforms, but full time on YouTube, nice. Yeah, it's an interesting job. I definitely think people can do it, but you have to, yeah, be consistent, do hard work, make good videos. What countries did you visit beside Morocco? Oh, that's a good question. So since I've been to Morocco, I visited Bangladesh, Ireland, and Spain. Before that, I lived in China, teaching English. So that's how I know some Chinese. Indian. um, kind of some of the basics, right? If you're American, Canada, Mexico. Um, did a little bit in Europe when I was younger, like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Czech. Is it not the Czech Republic anymore? Is it Czechia? I don't know. Um, countries like be changing their names. Um, what else? I'd have to think about it, but yeah, I'd certainly like to visit some other countries, but it's expensive, man. It really is. And well, yeah, it depends on, your lifestyle and like I budget travel, you know. Um I think it's important. Like I know people always think like, "Oh, you're a foreigner, you're going to have a lot of money." That's just not true. A lot of foreigners, they have enough money to travel and that's it. Like I mean to travel for take a trip and then go back home and they've spent their like extra money. I mean, I know some people and some families don't have that at all, period. But like if you're blessed enough to like have some extra money, um yeah, I think budget traveling is so important, especially if you want to like have a like non-touristy experience. At least that's my preference. Like I actually want to know people, the language. Obviously, this is a bit different with Morocco because I'm here for a long time. It's not exactly the same thing, but yeah, of course, I do expect like if I'm traveling the countries to be a bit cheaper than what I'm used to. Unless I go to Europe, which I'm not really interested to go to Europe. I like countries where they don't speak English because it's a challenge. You know more about yourself and others. I think it's a beautiful experience. But yeah, I mean, I'm even from a smaller city in America, so like my bills, my living expenses are way cheaper than someone who lives in Chicago, right? I'm from 2 hours from Chicago, so like it's a poor city. It is a poor city. So like my living expenses actually sometimes it's more expensive here. Yeah. But it depends because it depends on the city in Morocco, right? It's the same like if I go to a small city in Morocco, it's of course cheaper, but like I can't live in a big city in America. It's too expensive too. It's crazy. Um more than 10 countries. So good. It's time to visit Algeria. It's not that expensive. Yeah, but it's like I don't know anybody there. I like to know people there. You know what I mean? But I really would like to visit Algeria and Tunisia and, you know, obviously get to know some of the Amazigh people there. What did you say? You did Europe and South Asia. I want to go to Brazil next. Nice. Yeah, Brazil seems so far, huh? South Asia. Where'd you go in Asia? Man, my favorite kind of food is like Thai food and Vietnamese food. So I don't know. I'd like to go to one of those countries as well as India. You know, I'm vegetarian, so like I would eat all of the food. But you said, yeah, especially Moroccans, they expect foreigners are all rich and they need to spend a lot of money or not go. I mean, like, good for some, good for some people who have a lot of money and they can travel and they can spend these crazy amounts of money at a fancy, bougie, we say bougie hotel. But like, yeah, I've never been that kind of traveler, nor can I be. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to spend, or if I could spend that much money on those like fancy hotels, I could stay like maybe one night and then all my money would be, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Good morning. Where are you from? Nigeria. Hello. Is it morning there? You're not too far from Morocco. I'm like, it is too. Hi, 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 hi. You said you know me now. Do I really though? Hi, hi, hi. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. You're in France, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. Nice. Yeah, man. Like, since I'm vegetarian, like the any kind of noodle dish with vegetables and tofu. Hey, that's my favorite, man. Like the flavors, little spice, little peanut. It's so good. Yeah. Um, of course. What are these people doing still outside? I know it's a holiday though. Okay. Yeah. Like obviously, I've never been to those countries, but like there are some restaurants in my city too. Even there's one specific. Shout out to y'all that has like they're from Vietnam and or Thailand or maybe they're a blended family. I don't know for sure, but ah man, yeah, they make the best Vietnamese Thai food. I miss those flavors for sure. It's so funny because like of course people miss their food when they travel, right? Or they're not in their home country. But like I don't miss American food. I miss Thai food, Vietnamese food. Yeah. But you know, I feel like American food is not very healthy too. So I'm very health conscious. So I feel like American food would be like hamburgers, hot dogs, cheeseburgers, spaghetti, maybe Italian, but very different. Hello. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye. Though you guys, thank you so much again for being here. Um, I'm not sure about Wednesday what I'll talk about. If you guys have any suggestions, though, I'm happy to talk about different topics and you know we don't always have to go deep. That's just something I enjoy, of course, talking about important, purposeful topics. Trying to give more meaning, kindness, love, understanding to the world. Um, I would say Algeria is a must to visit. People are very kind, very beautiful country, and safe. Everyone can host you with pleasure. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, Behra. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for participating too. And I'll say Team Win. There's a little bug. Go away, bug. And if you guys are celebrating Eid, again, happy Eid to you guys. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your family. Try to have this healthy communication if you feel that people are capable, or if you feel, strong enough, courageous enough, safe enough to do so, But thanks again, guys, for joining me. Get off the thing here. Team NC win. See y'all Wednesday. Bye. One on. Buenos noches. Usiku mwema. Right? Or is that good morning? Hold on. How do you say good night in your language? Team NC win. I know Chinese. So that was Amazigh. Chinese, one on. Buenos noches in Spanish. Usiku mwema. Is that right? It's either good morning or good night in Swahili. Buonanotte in Italian. Safi. Good night, y'all. Thanks again. Bye.